Okay, so I thought that I would just throw out some of my opinions on some of the anime I've watched this year, since this year is coming to an end. These aren't all the animes I've seen this year. I think a couple of them might have been from early or late last year too. But these are the ones that sort of came to mind within the last year. So obviously these aren't all animes that are from this previous year. Some of them are years old. Some of them are even like 20 years old. But these are like all the ones I've watched over the last year and maybe a little bit more. So I thought about just doing a tier list and maybe talking briefly about each one. And in the future, I guess maybe I could go into in more depth with some of these animes I really like, or have a lot more thoughts on. But I kind of just felt like I just need to throw my opinion out there on some of the stuff. So with that being said, let's start. So let's see here. Let's start with The Devil is a Part-Timer. Which tier would this one be in? I really liked it. Sort of the synopsis is that there's this other dimension where angels fight demons, and then the demon lord sort of escapes from there and into our world and tries to survive in our world instead of their dimension. So it's kind of funny. They have like magical powers and everything, and it's I think it's pretty good, and it's kind of funny at the same time. They just announced a second season, I think a couple months ago. Even though this anime is from at least the first season was from a couple years ago, so it's kind of a surprise. So I really can't wait to see that. I think it's going to be pretty good. So if I had to say what tier it was, I'm going to go with. My gut says B. I'm going to say B. Like I said, I really liked it, but I think at the same time, it deserves more, and thankfully it looks like it's going to get more episodes. But I kind of felt like it was kind of short on the episodes there. But I generally enjoyed it though, so I was pretty pleased with that. I definitely would recommend it. I think it's pretty funny. So let's move on to Durara. Yes, I think that's how you pronounce it. Durara? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Jeez. Yeah, this one I think I watched a couple months ago, and man, I think it's really good. I think there's 2 seasons out there, and it's basically about like these several characters that live in the city, and they're all sort of connected through these kind of really bizarre, like paranormal events, and it's kind of hard to really explain each one, in a short period of time. But I think it's done very well. It's a little confusing at times because it sort of bounces around from these different perspectives from different characters. But generally, it sort of surrounds this what's it called, Dullahan, which is a Irish folktale legend about basically sort of like a headless horseman folktale, and where this woman rides a horse without the head, looking for their head. But now this is sort of like the modern interpretation of that. So now it's basically a headless woman riding a motorcycle around who does like odd jobs and stuff, and she's kind of looking for her head and what happened to it, because she can't remember her past without her head. And there's also other side stories and other things going on too, but that's sort of the general plot of it. And I think it's done very well. Even though there were a lot of episodes for it, I kind of wanted more. Supposedly the manga goes on even more than the anime, so hopefully, fingers crossed, one day we could get another season. But I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it was. I think it's really. I think it was really good. So my gut reaction is I'm going to put it in A tier. I think it's a must watch. If you got like a vacation or a break coming up, it might take a while to get through, but it is pretty good. I have to admit that. So moving on to the next one here. Let's see. Let me pick one. Oh yeah, Initial D. I think I did a little review on that a couple months ago. Yes, I did a review on this a couple months ago. I didn't really like it at first. I thought it was really painfully boring at first, but it got better at the end. And I actually considered maybe watching the second season of this. I haven't done it yet, obviously, but it's made me a little bit curious of watching the second season. But yeah, the first half of that first season was just I did not like it, and it was really painful to get through at times. And I kind of just felt like I had to watch it just because I started it, and I kind of at least wanted to finish one season of it. But I guess I'm kind of glad I stuck around for it. But I do think it is pretty overrated, and I am a car guy, so it's not like because I just don't like cars, don't understand cars or anything, but I think it was just kind of boring at times. It went way too technical on some stuff, and kind of just was lacking some plot and some interesting characters at times. But the characters got a little bit better towards the end. So if I had to put it on the tier chart, I would say, this might be a little bit of a fire. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm going to put it in D. I was considering maybe putting it in C, but it's kind of like in the in between C and D tier. I just think it's really overrated, though. At least the first season. Again, I'm only going off of what I have seen and what seasons I've seen. So I just want to keep make sure that that's clear. Durara, I watched both seasons. I love both of them, so I don't really have any objection to either seasons here. But if I have different feelings with different seasons, I'll be sure to mention that. So, let's move on to this one. Dachi. And which one was this called? Hold on a second. Oh yeah, Adachi and Shimura. Shimura? Shimura. God damn, I can't pronounce Japanese. Okay, this one is Adachi and Shimamura. I think I pronounced that right. Jesus. Yeah, I'm terrible at Japanese names, so I apologize to anybody out there who may have a Japanese name. No offense. I'm terrible at it. I'm kind of actually terrible at remembering them too. Honestly, sometimes I get the characters confused and their names confused. But yeah, this one, Adachi. Oh, yeah, this one, generic garbage. Not interesting. Nothing really happens. I mean, I'm not opposed to like slice of life stuff. It's kind of a slice of life anime about these two girls, building a relationship. I don't know if it's like romantic or not. I can't really tell. Or if it's just like friendly, or if they're just friendship. I can't even really tell, honestly. It's kind of like in between. And it's weird. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or something. I don't know. But generally, basically nothing happens. There's really no development. It was a waste of time, and I do not recommend watching it. So I really wish there was more to say about it, but it's kind of like all the negative aspects of slice of life anime put into this one, honestly. And like I said, I'm not opposed to slice of life anime. I actually enjoy it. Yeah, this one, yeah, it's not funny. Nothing really happens, and just no. F tier generic garbage. It's kind of unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of this generic garbage because I think the anime is becoming more and more popular. So, yeah, just no. This needs to stop. It's time to stop. Like seriously. So, God, I'm glad I'm done talking about that one. So, next one. Let's see here. Let us go with. Ooh, Girls Monthly Uzaki-kun. I think this one was from several years ago, and it's only 12 episodes. At least I think it is. I watched it on Netflix. It's only 12 episodes in the season, and I thought it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of lighthearted. Um, and I kind of like the characters. Um, but again, I think it definitely deserves a second season. Um, I think definitely the kind of anime, like if you have like a girlfriend or something that likes anime, I think definitely she would it'd be a good anime to watch on like on a date night or something maybe. If you are, you know, who am I kidding? You guys watch anime, so you're probably not dating anyways. So, oh, burn. Um, but where is it on the tier list though? I'm not sure. It's at least a C, but I think I'm gonna put it in B. I'm putting it in B. Yeah, I think the character name were Chio and Sayo. I think it was. Sayo. Yeah, Chio. I think it was Chio and Sayo. I think. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But yeah, I think their I guess relationship development or romance I think was kind of funny. It was kind of lighthearted. I enjoyed it. There are a lot of funny, adorable moments in it, and it's kind of a lighthearted anime. So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna get. So again, just personal taste. If that's what you're looking for, hey, you'll get it. So that's definitely that is definitely a B tier, and we need another season of it. I think it's really good. So let's move on to the next one. Let's go with Uzaki Chan. I remember this one from a couple. It was really big about a year or two ago, and they announced a second season for it, which I think is in the works right now. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think there's definitely some funny moments in there. I don't think it really just like sometimes it got a little bit boring at times, and I don't think there was really a whole lot of plot or character development. It kind of feels like at the end there really wasn't a whole lot of development or character development or plot development, and um, oof, what am I gonna put on the tier list though? My gut says C. I'm gonna go with C. I think it could have been B. It was really close to being B. Um, I think there were definitely some funny moments in there, and it's not a bad anime by any stretch. Um, and I think it's worth a second season, having a second season. But it kind of, like I said, at certain points it kind of just gets a little bit boring at times or repetitive, or doesn't really go anywhere. So, and again, it is a slice of life anime where this girl Uzaki kind of is this really annoying girl that sort of annoys this guy and follows him around, and they get into all sorts of shenanigans and yeah, like I said, there's definitely some funny moments there, but it kind of turns into a little bit of a one trick pony show, I guess. So hopefully, second season will have a better plot with more development in it. Hopefully, I think they could do a lot better with it. So, but with that being said, I'm definitely putting this in C tier. So, with that being said, let's see, which one should we do next? Ooh, Violet Evergarden. I remember this one. Yeah, there's a movie, and I think there's 2 seasons, 1 or 2 seasons of this. I think. Yeah, I think that this series has been going on for like the last couple of years. I'm just gonna say with the movie included and the 2 seasons, absolutely beautiful anime, absolutely beautiful. Really pretty good story, really good story, and I've enjoyed the setting. And I think the characters were a little bit lacking at times. I think that hold on a second. Let me look something up here real quick. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically about this woman, Violet Evergarden, who was supposed to be this I guess you could say like an elite soldier. There was something's like off with her. You can't really tell at first, but like she was supposed to be like really a really elite soldier because of some natural born abilities, and she lost both of her arms in the war. And then the series sort of starts with her trying to find a new purpose in life or new um, trying to adjust, trying to get out of the mindset of coming back from war, and she's having a difficult time adjusting to her job and society and everything. She's very like bland and doesn't seem to understand like social norms and stuff, and she tries to take up a job as a auto memories doll, which is basically sort of like a ghost writer. Um, that's what they call it in this universe. This is it's sort of based in like a fictitious universe. It kind of looks steampunk or like like a late 19th century, early 20th century, kind of like that era around the First World War. So it's kind of like has some fantasy elements to it. So um, I think the setting was done very well. I enjoyed the setting a lot, and I really enjoyed Violet's story. Her character development over time. It's definitely one of the more interesting character arcs so far. It's including the movie too. But I do think that some of the side characters could have been better and could have, been more interesting. She does. So some of the episodes are her going, or kind of like their own self-contained episodes that, she goes to work for somebody and it sort of goes over their story a little bit, and it doesn't really, go back to the whatever happened in that episode later on. So it's not really like developing anything. It's a nice episode, but it doesn't really like develop anything. So I think like maybe they could have done something more with connecting the episodes in a better way, but and maybe developing some of those side characters. I think that they kind of left some things on the table there. So for me, I think this is definitely an A to S tier. Not sure. Let's see. Here. I'm gonna go with A. I think it's almost an S tier, but I think it needs. I think the side characters need a little bit more development there, and I think it's definitely capable of. The series is definitely capable of becoming an S tier pretty soon. So if they continue with it, I'm not sure if they are or not, but if they were to continue with it, I think they could definitely build on some stuff there. So, but for now, it's an A tier, very good, highly recommend it. I think it's award winning, so I can see why. So, you know, good on them. All right, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's go. Let's go with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I just got done watching season 2 a couple weeks ago. Finally caught up with it. I watched season 1 and 2. Really good slice of life. Kind of what slice of life anime and manga should be. I think it's really funny, has a lot of lighthearted moments, and it has really good character development. Basically, to put it, the synopsis of the plot is there's this woman named Miss Kobayashi. She's kind of this not really social person. She, works an typical office job, lives in an apartment by herself, kind of a little bit isolated from the rest of society. And then all of a sudden, one day, this dragon appears outside her apartment and then transforms into this maid, as in like a human figure. And this dragon basically becomes her maid because she owes her a favor for saving her life, apparently, where apparently Miss Kobayashi saved this dragon's life when she was in a drunken stupor and didn't even remember it. So it's a little bit, funny there from the beginning. But it definitely goes into more details, as you watch it more. The dragon's name is Toru. I believe they pronounce it. And there's other dragons that come from the, I guess you call it the dragon dimension, I guess. So there's other characters there too. I really like them too. I think they really, support the show. They make it a lot more interesting. And I definitely will say I liked the first season more than the second season. I think the second season was solid, but I think the first season had a little bit more magic, and I thought it was a little bit more funnier. So, in the second season, they introduced a new character, Lulu, which I thought was kind of interesting, and they could have maybe done more with it. I think. Again, each season is 12 episodes, so I think they could have had more episodes. I think they needed a couple more episodes to flesh a few things out, but still definitely a great watch. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope we get another season. I think it's definitely worth another season. I think still. I mean, even if the second season wasn't as good as the first one, so I'm gonna put this one. Yeah, for slice of life anime, I'm gonna put this one in A. I think it borderline could be S. I think if the second season was just as good as the first one, it would be S. But I think there's some things lacking in the second season. Some of the stories aren't as interesting, I think, and I think it's the cast is getting a little bit too crowded, so we're kind of having to, skip through things, and some characters aren't involved here, and I think it's starting to suffer from that a little bit, but still definitely a good watch. I definitely recommend it if you like slice of life anime. So, moving on from that, let's go with. Let's get this. Oh, Hensuki. Yes, this one. Oh God, this one. Yeah, I don't even know if I could even talk about this one on. Well, I guess I can. I'll try to. But this one is it wasn't very popular. I don't think it was really watched a whole lot. It wasn't really a mainstream anime, but I managed to find it somehow. I forget how I found it. I think I was just browsing, and I just picked it. So, but apparently this anime is about a high schooler and a couple of girls, and apparently one of the girls, let's just say one of the girls sends a quote unquote message to this guy expressing that she is in love with him, and this guy tries to figure out who this girl is throughout the entire season. And the season is 12 episodes, and each episode he's trying to figure out the mystery of who is his secret admirer. But apparently there's a little bit of a twist. Apparently all of these potential suspects or these girls he tries to build a relationship with and try to figure out if they're the girl that's in love with him. Apparently these girls all have some really bizarre, let's say, sexual interests, put it mildly. This is definitely not an anime you would want to watch with somebody else in the room. But I thought it was funny. It is. I think it is hilarious at times. Just made me really chuckle and laugh at times. So it depends on how you look at it. Some people might find it repulsive. Some people might be into that kind of stuff, whatever. But I just found it funny. So I thought it was really funny, and probably should have gotten more notoriety. I think. It seems like there's not going to be another season, and I guess that's understandable because the story. I think the story did conclude properly. It wasn't a complex story, but definitely made me laugh. It was funny, and I definitely think if you like funny animes and stuff, and you're okay with some adult themes, then I think this one is definitely a hidden gem. I think so. But for me, I'm gonna put this one in the. I think it's gonna go for B tier. I think it might have been a C tier, but I think because it was really funny and it just made me smile and laugh at times, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. I'm gonna kick it up a tier, even if some of the characters aren't super interesting at times. The main protagonist is kind of not really super interesting himself, but they kind of joke about that how he's kind of generic. But I think some of the side characters, the girls that potential suspects are definitely interesting. So yeah, definitely, I think that's a B tier. That might be a bit of a hot take, but whatever. Let's go with Her Silent Voice. I remember this one. Yeah, this is a movie actually, and I believe there's a manga about it too. Like the movie's based on the manga, so I'm pretty sure the manga came first. But Her Silent Voice won a lot of awards, pretty critically acclaimed. A lot of people have really high opinions about this one, and so I kind of had to check it out for myself. And I really enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of heavy topics in this anime. Like I didn't even know that anime could even really explore those kind of topics. But they did, and it was really interesting. I think explore topics like bullying, disabilities, self-harm or self-deletion, I guess you could say. And those are some pretty serious topics, but I think they did it in a pretty well. I think they did a pretty decent job with it, handling those kind of topics. I do think the ending of it, though, I think was could have been a little bit better. I think kind of felt like at the ending, like things were just getting started. I kind of wanted to see more, like okay, where are these characters going now? And then it just sort of ends, and I was like, oh man, like that sucks, So I'm pretty sure that the manga, I guess, goes into more stories after the events of this movie. So I guess if you want to know, you have to read the manga, but I don't have the manga. I kind of wish I could watch. Wish there was like a series or something afterwards. That takes place after the movie. So, yeah. So I thought I wouldn't say that, but yeah. If anything, I think this deserves a series. If anything, I thought it was really well done, and yeah, definitely would recommend this. Characters are pretty good. Well, at least the main characters are pretty good. The side ones are pretty decent too. So, definitely made me feel the feels. So I'm gonna put this one in A. I'm gonna put this one in A. I think it was B or A, but I'm gonna put this one in A. Yeah, because it was just that emotionally impactful for me. So I'm gonna put that in A. So let's go on to which one should we pick? Which one? Let's go with Sailor Moon Crystal. So yes, a very manly anime that definitely grow hair on your chest. Just kidding. I don't remember much about the original Sailor Moon. I do remember it was on like Cartoon Network before Dragon Ball Z, or it was like after Dragon Ball Z, I think. I don't know. It was like 15, 20 years ago, but I didn't really watch it a whole lot when I was a kid. I just remember like snippets of it here and there, and I think out of curiosity, I think I went back and watched some clips from the old anime, like from back in the 90s, and man, that English dub was, man, that dub was bad. Whew, man, the original dub was bad. Apparently, they redubbed it now, so I guess if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can now get the I guess what do they call it, the definitive or the revised version of it, where they redubbed it and they redid and they cleaned it up a bit. So from what I see, it looks better. So this series is kind of like a remake from the original Sailor Moon. It only follows like the main plot. It doesn't do any of the side, I guess, quote unquote, slice of life kind of episodes or side stories. It's like a 12, 14, 15 episodes a season, and it focuses on the main story plot of Sailor Moon. And there's a movie, Sailor Moon Eternal, which is in 2 parts, so I'm including that too. As of right now, that's where Sailor Moon Crystal stands. And I watched it, out of curiosity. I kind of like sometimes watching animes that are have historical relevance, that are really impactful, on pop culture. especially if it was like impactful in pop culture in the past, like the '90s. Like in the '90s, like Sailor Moon was really probably the most popular anime. I think probably in the West. I think one of the most popular ones. And even though definitely it was definitely geared towards girls, I think anybody can appreciate it, and anybody can watch it. So, um, but for this one, for Sailor Moon Crystal, man, I have mixed feelings about it. I like the graphics, the animation, the graphics, the art. It can be pretty beautiful at times, especially in the third season and in the movie. Um, but my problem is that especially with seasons 1 and 2, the plot moves way too fast, and it kind of, especially for somebody like me who can't really remember the original Sailor Moon that much. Maybe some basic things here and there, but for me, it's like still like watching the series all over again, and it's kind of hard for me to really, appreciate the characters, or really take in the characters or the story when it's moving so fast. Especially with season 1 and 2, I think that it could have been stretched out a few more episodes. They probably should have included a couple, I guess, quote unquote, slice of life episodes. And I think I would have made it a lot better, would have paced it a lot better, could have gotten to know the characters, better. And I think 3 was definitely the best season within the series. But even that one at times was kind of rushed, and they kind of took out some of the characters temporarily. They got quote unquote captured, and were kind of out of several episodes. Some of the Sailor Guardians were out of there for a couple episodes, and I'm like, what the heck, So the movie, I thought, again, had similar problems. I think they from what I understand, they tried to fit like what originally was an entire season into 2 movies, and although the story isn't bad, it's not really great either, and again, I feel like it's kind of rushed, and I kind of, I don't know. I just I wasn't really blown away by it, but it wasn't really bad either. I can't say it was bad. So again, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of just in between with it. There's things I really do like about it. Excuse me. There's things I really like about it, but there's other things. It's kind of like it really could have been better, and I don't know if they're gonna continue it or not. I think they might be able to do another season. I think originally there were like 5 seasons, so they've done 3 in the movie of the 4th season. So I guess they have like maybe one more season left if they wanted to continue with Sailor Moon Crystal. I thought there's some decent humor at times, but at times it could go for episodes without a whole lot of humor, and gets really serious. Like again, like I said, the pacing issues, it gets really serious for several episodes at a time, and sometimes you just feel like you need a break from it. So on that note, I'm gonna put this thing in C. I think this thing definitely had A or B potential, but again, I feel like they're just trying to rush things too much, and it kind of causes a lot of problems with that. So, but I think if you were a fan of Sailor Moon, the original anime, I think it's definitely probably worth a watch. Bring back some memories. I guess feel a little nostalgic. But yeah, as of right now, I think it's a C as a series right now. Hopefully, if they do make another season, they can finish it on the right note. But we'll see about that. So let us go to the next anime. Let's go with My Hero Academia. Yeah, this one. Full disclosure, I have only seen the first 4 seasons. I have not seen season 5 yet. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But so in the context of the first 4 seasons, I think it's great. I absolutely love it, and I remember think hearing somebody talk about it and saying basically My Hero Academia is doing superheroes better than freaking Marvel right now, and I couldn't really disagree with that much. I haven't really been into Marvel for a couple of years now. I just don't really like the direction it's been going the last couple of years. But My Hero Academia, really interesting concept, and I think it's really fun. Like I don't know if I can really point to one specific thing, um, but like when I sit down and I watch an episode, I'm like, dang, I really want to watch the next episode, and I really feel good about it. I liked it. I enjoyed myself. Like just my gut feeling. I think the cast is it's very interesting. Basically, the synopsis is that there's the world, or humanity has sort of entered the next phase where human beings have quote unquote quirks, where they have like sort of unique abilities, but they all kind of vary in their power, or at least most of the population has quirks, and they sort of vary in power. Some of the quirks can be really extremely useful, amazing, and even devastating, and some are just kind of innocuous, and like, oh, it's a nice side trick, but whatever. And apparently, some people we're not. This is obviously in any society there are good people and bad people. So obviously, when bad people started using quirks, they needed good people to step in to stop them. So that's when you started having this sort of hero culture arise from that. And superheroes are kind of treated like professional athletes almost, or professional performers, where they have like agents, they have agencies, they sign contracts, they do endorsement deals, and they're sort of like this business side of things too. And they have schools specifically designed to develop superheroes, and the main character Deku wants to be a superhero since he was a little kid, but he's not born with a quirk, and he's kind of devastated by that. But through some interesting events, there is a superhero that gives him a quirk, is able to transfer his quirk to him, and he gets into uh, the most elite superhero school, and this is sort of a story of how he develops as a superhero, how he builds relationships, and how he, overcomes the challenges of being a student at this high school to become a superhero. So, I think there's a movie out for it now, or will be soon. I have to check on that. I haven't seen that yet, but I definitely want to see it when I get a chance. And yeah, I think the cast is really good and interesting. A lot of them have interesting abilities and are interesting characters in themselves. And like I said, I've always kind of like wanted to see more and more and more. I mean, I think that's a good sign of a good show for me. And I know a lot of people might think sometimes it's overrated sometimes, but I personally I enjoyed it. So um, for me, it's definitely an A or an S tier. Um, I can't really find any real major faults with it. I guess maybe sometimes the main protagonist can act a little dumb, or a little bit maybe acts a little bit illogical at times, or a little selfish at times. But still, my gut feeling really enjoys it. So I got to put this thing in. I don't want to be one of those people that puts this thing on a pedestal, because I think there's too many people that just sing its praises like too much. But I can't lie to myself. I got to put it in S tier. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I really want to finish it when I get a chance. It's definitely in my list to finish. So hopefully before the new year, I'll be able to finish the fifth season, and I can't wait. I can't wait. So I can't lie. I enjoy it. Make fun of me, whatever you say, but I enjoy it. So I'm putting that in S tier as of right now. All right, let's go with. Oh well, since we ended on an S tier one, let's go with Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, this. Oh, yeah, this for me Man, this thing is. I think it's overrated. I think it's really, really overrated. I watched it. I watched most of the first season, and I can't finish it. Um, I know that might be kind of hypocritical, or not doing it, giving it due diligence, or giving it the time of day, but I tried watching it, and it's just so. I think it's so goddamn boring. I think the only thing interesting in this anime is 02, which is the girl with the horns. She's an interesting character, but everyone else in this thing is just doesn't click with me, and doesn't. I just don't find interesting. I don't care, and I think it's really drawn out at times. I think that the relationship between her and the main character, I can't even remember the main character's name because I watched this like several months ago, and I can't even remember the main character's name because he's so uninteresting. And I just, ugh, it's just so boring. It's sort of like an Evangelion ripoff, I think. And basically, they live on this planet, and there's these what are they called, colossosaurs or whatever the hell they're called, and they keep attacking people on the planet, so they have to go out and fight these things in like these mechs, but like you have to be with a guy and a girl apparently in the mech, and the girl has to be in this weird suggestive position and a motorcycle like thing, and the guy's in a suggestive position behind her, and it's like what like 12-year-old like came up with this. It's just like I do not like this. I think it is boring. It is so overrated, and I'm putting this thing in F tier just because I'm mad. I'm so mad. So I was gonna put it in D because at least they had 02 as an interesting character, but I'm actually mad now that I think about it. How much wasted potential they had with it. So I didn't even see the second season, but apparently, from what I've heard, people do not like the second season. Apparently, it just went completely off the rails, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think it even was on the rails to begin with. So yeah, that's trash. I would not recommend watching it. So let's move on to. I guess we were just talking about Evangelion. So I finally got a chance to watch Evangelion. I think it was almost a year ago. I think I watched it. I watched like all 24 episodes. I watched the movie. I have not watched the new ones, the 1.1, 2.2, and 3.3. I want to. That is on my to-do list. It's just kind of hard to get a hold of it. I think they just announced a couple months ago that it's available on Amazon, I think. So I'll have to get around to watching that. So hopefully I get a Amazon gift card this Christmas. But that's on my to-do list. I definitely want to watch those. Apparently the 1.1 and 2.2 and 3.3 series is basically a continuation of the story, but it's like the events are the universe, or the Evangelion universe is kind of in a stuck time loop, and the series that comes after the original Evangelion series is like where they actually break that time loop finally, and the first series from like 1997 is like the original time loop. And basically, the synopsis is that there's these, I guess, aliens, or they call them, oh crap, what do they call them? I forget off the top of my head, but basically, they're from they're from space, basically, or from interdimensional places, and basically, these weird, bizarre things, creatures, or things keep attacking a planet, and they had to build these massive robots, the Evangelions, to fight back and try to save the planet. And these mechs are piloted by these teenage kids. For some reason, I believe it's because they can, for some reason, something to do with their biology or their neurology. I forget the science behind it, but it definitely deals with some really deep and heavy themes. A lot of religious imagery. I think it can get pretty powerful at times, depending on if you're a religious person or not. I think that's subjective. And I this is either like really held in high regards by people, or people think it's really overrated. And hmm, I'm kind of in between because I think it really when it hits on all cylinders, I think it's really good and really interesting. But there's times where it kind of goes off the rails, especially that ending and towards the end of the series. Um, Man, like what the fuck, there's points like there's points in this series where I don't know what the hell is going on, and I kind of have to like pause it and like look it up, and I'm like, what the hell? And it gets like really kind of pretentious at times. And to me, I don't think it's the greatest thing ever made, but I do think it is definitely important in anime history. And I again, it's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, because it was kind of a real cornerstone anime from that time. And apparently, the story's floating around is that they kind of ran out of budget, or they misused the budget so badly they had to cut so much stuff, and that's why we got probably one of the worst endings within that generation to an anime series. And it was so bad they had to make a movie to give them the fans the quote unquote true ending, which I think was definitely a lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better. And overall, I'm kind of in between. It does some things really well, and it's really interesting at times. And I didn't think anime could go into such deep topics like it does. And it does get kind of dark at times with some of these heavy topics. Um, but some people might put this in like S tier. Some people might think it's like freaking C or D tier. Um, as So the original series and the movie included. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I think it. Oh, shit. I'm going with B. My gut is going with B. I kind of wanted to put it in A, and I think it definitely had S potential. Um, but like I said, at times it kind of just goes off the rails, and I don't know what's going on. It's really hard to follow at times, and I'm hoping that the newer series fixes a lot of those issues when I watch it, because I think it has I think it really has good potential. There's a lot of interesting side characters there. I think they could have done even more with them, honestly. But towards the end, it starts kind of going off the rails. The ending in the original series is awful, but the movie kind of fixes that, I think. Um, but overall, I think it was definitely I did enjoy myself, but I think I could have enjoyed myself a lot more if it was, I don't know, done better. So I know a bit of a, I guess people might consider this a hot take, but whatever. That's just my gut feeling. So let's move on to, we've got 3 more here. Let's go with how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. This is a bizarre one. It was definitely a bizarre one. It's about a girl that gains some weight and then decides to sign up with a gym, and sort of meets these characters along the way towards her weight loss goals. And um, it was a fun experience. It was a fun anime to watch, even if it was kind of a bizarre concept. Kind of a lot of health education in there too, so I guess it's kind of educational too. Um, Learned a couple of things about weight loss while watching this, so I guess if you're into that, good for you. Um, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was obviously I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever, but I did get some a couple belly chuckles out of it. I don't think I don't think it's the best thing ever made, but or it's a massively deep story. Some of the side characters are interesting. Some I think could use a little bit of work, but overall, gut feeling, it was an enjoyable experience. So I'm gonna put this thing. I think it's C tier. I think it is C tier, but I like a C plus. Like it's in between B and C. Um, I think it was a bizarre and it is an original concept. I will give it that. I don't think I've ever heard of an anime or many animes about personal fitness and going to the gym. That is interesting. Um, but I guess it's an interesting concept. Um, but again, I don't think it was the greatest thing ever made. So, just gut feeling. I can't, like I said, I can't really explain too much into it because it's kind of that's just kind of the gist of it. It's not really a massive, hugely interesting plot. So, going to go with C. Going with C for that one. So it's only one season, and I think that's the only season they're getting. So, unfortunately for them, I guess. So, whatever. Decent watch. If you have nothing else to watch, you kind of stumped for things to watch and you haven't watched it yet. It's worth at least one watch through, I think. So, moving on, I got two left here. Ooh, I think we got two good ones here. Love is War. I forget the Japanese translation to this, but I watched the first season of it, and I want to watch the second season of it because I think it is really funny, and it's gut feeling it's enjoyable. I think Chica is probably one of the most funniest and hilarious side characters out there right now. And I think the concept is interesting. It's basically a sort of love story between this guy and this girl, but they both don't want to admit they're in love with each other, so they're kind of trying to trick trying to trick the other one into admitting that they're in love with them so they can assert dominance in their relationship going forward. So it's kind of this cat and mouse game, I guess, that they're always getting into these situations. And it's kind of they're kind of funny. At least I think they're kind of funny. So I know on the surface it might seem kind of boring or kind of a odd thing to really imagine in your head, but I think I think it's a funny anime, and I enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend it be watched. I think at the end of the first season it could have been a little bit better, in my opinion. But luckily there's a second season, so I haven't seen that yet. But I can't wait to see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one gut feeling. Definitely at least a B, maybe an A. I'm gonna go with B. I'm going with B. That one is B, and yeah, I guess definitely a B. Yeah, solid B. I'd say a solid B. So yeah, B. And the last one here. Ooh, I saved this one for last specifically. A certain scientific railgun. Apparently, this is a spin-off series from a certain magical index, which I have not seen yet. A certain scientific railgun has 3 seasons right now. I am almost done with the series within the third season, so I've watched seasons 1, 2, and most of 3 as of right now, and I absolutely love it. I love it. I think the characters are great. The concept is very interesting, and I just enjoy it. It's just fun. Like I enjoy it. I'm always waiting for the next episode. I think it's solidly like it's I mean not the best writing ever, but I think it's written solid. I think it's written decently. And basically, it's in this universe, within the Railgun universe, there's a magical index story too that's I haven't seen yet, and there's also the certain scientific accelerator that I haven't seen. Also, that's also connected to this universe, but within this universe, there's a city called Academy City where basically the brightest and most talented people go to this city. It's like a massive. There's like research labs all over the place. Prestigious schools, prestigious universities. Basically, the technology within the city is like 20 years ahead of the rest of the world. It was very cutting edge stuff, and apparently there are also some the morally questionable things going on in regards to science. So this it is also espers, which are basically people that have these. I guess you could. I don't want to say like magical, but people that have like basically superhero like abilities. And again, some of them are kind of mild, some of them are devastating, and they're ranked on a 0 to 5 scale. 5 being like the most dangerous and devastating, and 0 to having like none. So some people have these abilities, some people do not have these abilities, and the main character, Mikoto Misaka, is a level 5, which there's only like a handful of people that are at that level, and she basically has these insane electrical powers. She could do all sorts of things. She could like manipulate metal things around her. She could shock people. She could manipulate electricity, and a lot of very cool fight scenes, I think, in the anime. And I guess her friend or her sidekick, if you want to say, is Shirai Kokoro, and she could teleport. She's a level 4, and she could teleport around, so it's pretty useful and skill to have. And the story, I think, is pretty good. I don't want to spoil anything, but I didn't really think I would like it at first. But the more and more I watched, I think the first 2 or 3 episodes are kind of like, I don't know if I like this. But after that, it got really interesting, and I really have been enjoying it since. I never thought I would enjoy a anime about middle school girls that fight evil with superhero like abilities, but apparently I guess I do. I think there's a lot of funny moments in there too, a lot of I guess slice of life thrown in there too, so it's not just action all the time. It's also broken up with some some lighthearted funny slice of life kind of stories too, which I think really help build the characters and make them even more interesting, and have some pretty interesting stories and fun, lighthearted stories too. I particularly like the relationship between Makoto and Shirai. Apparently, Shirai is in love with Makoto and is kind of a pervert about it, and I just think it created some pretty funny moments and a funny dynamic between them. So generally, yeah, I love this series. Definitely want to see Magical Index and Accelerator now, and get to know more about this universe. I think I think the swimsuit episode was kind of uncomfortable. Just FYI, it's just Japan being Japan. So yeah, so just FYI, just throwing that out there. So, but it's the only downside, I guess. But some people might say there's a little too much fan service in this series, but I enjoy fan service as long as it's like funny and not totally overdone. And there definitely is some fan service in here, and I enjoyed it. So sometimes you just have to go with the flow and say, hey, okay, this is fan service. It's try to enjoy for what it is. Don't take it too seriously. So if you can't tell by now, I'm putting this in like S tier. I love it. Would recommend it. I think if anything, I think it's underrated. I think a lot more people should watch it. But me gut feeling, like, and for all the reasons I just listed, I think it's S tier. So definitely gonna dive more and more into that series. So yeah, those are some of the animes. Most of the animes I've watched over the last year that came to mind. I think there's a couple more, but like I can't remember them, or they were so irrelevant I didn't even remember them. So on that note, you guys can tell me what you think about this list, or if there's any other anime recommendations you might have for me. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next video.